tiny little blip. Just a tiny little blip. And we're back. Okay. Why did that get canceled? Oh my god. Frickin'. Gar. New mug of tea. I guess what we'll do now is we'll head on over to... Things are blipping out. A horrible delay now. Let me just move the Brio down to 30 frames a second now that we're here. Still have that going on in the background. Okay, I don't know why audio. We don't need audio output capture at all. Maybe just go up here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find. First off, what we want to do is we want to grab some frames, so let's go. Let's grab as many frames from here as we can. So we're gonna export. Oh, okay. We need to head on over to display cap. I want to display. All right, there's a few things we forgot to do. Left column base. I'm not even showing my bit. Background gradient needs to color correction needs to become opaque just a little bit, or transparent just a little bit. Same thing for the column card. Column card needs to become a little transparent. Okay, and then we'll go back to display cap. How do I want to do this? Let's actually bring this up quite a bit. Let's actually bring this up a bit. Or better yet, let's just not even have the gradient. We'll just have the chat log there. We can add a crop filter to it. To the actual chat box, we can add a crop filter. I'll just crop in to like halfway down. There we go. And that should work. So we go back to display cap. Then we still want the gradient, but the gradient isn't going to be nearly as high. So I think what we actually want to do is get our gradient. And do that. And that'll be okay for now. So. Yeah, especially if once we switch over to the other display. There we go. cool. And let's get our let's get our music in here as well. Excuse me. I sneezed. Okay, actually, let's not make the as transparent as we had been. Let's do that. I think that'll be good. Better yet, why don't I just move this all the way over? Nah, actually, that's better. It's fine there. Okay, anyway, we are doing things and stuff and things. So what we want to do is mute our time code. And we want to render out this entire shot. Actually, I need to mute all audio. We want to render this out as an image sequence. If Vegas likes that. Image sequence, PNG. And we want to go into lap 1. What shot is this? We've decided this is... we've already done that. Awesome. I forgot we've already done that. Okay, so in that case, we want to go ahead and drag Affinity Photo over here. And we want to actually open up our lip flaps and frames over here. See if we have any kind of... okay, so what we want to do is we want to drag in one of these images. And the whole thing about this shot, the whole reason we're doing this, is that there's a camera shake, which, as we know, this was not edited frame by frame. This was a static shot that was a little bit bigger, that was cropped in, and the camera shake was added in editing. So we're going to reverse engineer that process. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this first frame, drop it in, and we're going to expand our canvas by about 10 pixels on either side. So we're going to go 788 by 596. All right. That's that frame. Now we're going to go to our second frame grab, which is actually the identical drawing, but the camera has shifted a little bit. As you can see, it's not in quite the same position. In fact, the new one seems to be a little bit more to the upper left of the original frame than the first one. So what we're going to do, keep both of them active, and this being the same drawing will actually be this being the same drawing will actually be a lot better, a lot easier to match up. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our blending mode to difference matte, and then we're just going to move around this top image until we can see as little of the outline as possible. So we're going to figure out where... okay, so now things like right here are where we start to run into a little bit of issues with reverse engineering this. So as you can see, right now our Y coordinate for the image is 9 pixels off the top border. 8 is equally 8 pixels is equally like outlining, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Which means that our ideal placement is between 8 and 9 pixels. It's not on a perfect pixel, which is really unfortunate. Fortunately, in Affinity Photo, we can put in decimal frames. So, 8.5 pixels gives us quite a bit of the outline gone. If we want to be really pedantic, we can go in and try to narrow it down by the 10th of a frame. But I think 8.5 is going to be our best bet. Maybe 8.6. But I think 8.5 is actually going to be our... So it's actually like 8.55, but it rounds up to the nearest tenth of a pixel. So that's what we're going to work with. Now we're going to do an identical thing with the horizontal axis. So it looks like it may be a little bit less than 8. So let's try it 7.8. Let's try 7.9. Let's just go to 8. Let's do 7.9. Okay, so 7.9. And then we can change that back to normal blending mode. And what that leaves us with is we've recovered a little bit of the frame. It's barely anything. Actually, we're going to bring this to the bottom just so we can save the quality. But we have recovered a little bit of the frame. So we're gonna do that with third frame as well. It's a little bit of a different. It's a little bit different drawing. This is a separate flip flap, but the background doesn't change, so we should still be able to line it correctly. There we go. I think that's as close as we're gonna get in that particular case. So we'll go back to normal, we'll option it. It's a little shifted, but not too much. I think it'll work for our purposes. Go back. So now we have our original image and about a 3 or 4 pixel allowance around it, which is good, which is what we want. Because what we're eventually going to do is once we have this animated, we're going to reapply the same camera shake. We're going to motion track the camera shake and reapply that back onto the animation. So now we've got this image in. We will make a difference matte. And what I've done for this is I've just turned snapping off so I can freehand drag precisely within the subpixels. And here, if we look, there's actually quite a bit of variance of the shake. It's actually it's a relatively dramatic shake, actually. I'm just going to keep going. We're going to align to center. Bring up the difference map. And we'll pick the line on the chair to align it to. Okay. That looks pretty good. And we're going to keep doing this until we realize that shifting is still within the bounds of other images that we've put on. So it looks like this actually takes place almost entirely within the borders of another drawing. So if we option this, aside from this little part over here because it's a moving background, we've actually not added anything. And so I think we're done. I am going to keep adding on a few more, but I think that's all we need to do. I'm just going to add a couple more just to double check. But I don't think we're going to get any farther than this. It's matte. And this is, again, pretty much within the border of anything else we've already drawn. So I think we're okay for that. So I think we're going to just call that done. Now what we're going to do is, even though we've already got this like set up for where we want it, we just want to create some allowance. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to pad out the rest of this frame. We really probably don't need to. but we're going to, just to be safe. So I'm going to move the background pixel on top like that, and we're going to go ahead and flatten this document. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up the lip flaps, check to see what changes. Okay, so it's just the mouth changes. The jaw doesn't change in this particular shot. On some shots, they do. On some shots, the jaw changes. On some lip flaps, the jaw changes. On this one, it does not. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to take our clone stamp tool, and we're going to slide it in along, we're going to source somewhere along this line. We're going to select that, and we're going to slide it up here and start building our frame up until reuse hair. Okay. That will go ahead and cut out just a little bit, but not too much because there's a wall. Okay, I think that's what we're going to get on that corner. Now we're going to take our clone stamp. We're going to source this side instead. So let's go down here. There's a little bit more leeway up when we get up here. Okay, we'll do that. We're going to source over here to finish this line out like this. That was a little bit, that was slightly off. Let's, there we go, that'll work. Let's continue to pad that out. It's also a lot easier down here on his jacket because it's just a solid color. There's no other texture, no other outline. So this we can literally just, if we wanted to, we could just straight up, actually I think I will just for demonstration, I'll just straight up find a part of the image where the checkerboard artifacting isn't happening. I'll select that. And then I'll just physically paint that in. For my own sake, I'm going to turn the hardness down even though I really don't need it. That in just a little bit, and we'll go down here up until about this point. You still there, Ryan? That's fair. Let's actually try our brush with down. Source it from over here. This part really doesn't matter because it's meant to get cut out anyway. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but that's his arm. So this is meant to continue all the way across, but we're probably going to want to do that on a different layer so we can clean it up later. Actually, what we'll do first is we'll continue this first. We'll continue this down first. Then we will... That actually makes quite a considerable turn like that. There we go. Actually, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. better yet, we'll last to select, copy paste, deselect,
Rotate.
gives a little bit better definition on that line. And then we'll just come through, drop that eraser set brush down, and then erase it like that. There we go. That gives it a little bit better definition on that line. We can go ahead and merge that down, and with the clone stamp, we can go and clean up that a little bit more. So then we're going to want to sample from up here, continue that shadow down, and we can continue on painting that rest of that arm in. That's the arm. Here we're going to want to, it actually looks like it starts curving down a bit more. So I think what we're going to want to do is sample from this part of the arm. This turns out to not be quite what it is in real life. Not the end of the world. Okay, so now the question is, where do we want to sample this line from? I think the answer is going to be this curve right here. It's a gentle enough, sweeping enough curve. And we'll take our selection brush and we'll add just a little bit more on top of that. Just a little bit more. If it gets too far, we can always erase it. Copy, paste, deselect, move, and we're going to try to line this up. Merge that down. We can add a layer behind. Brush. Paint that in. Brush. Paint this in. We can merge down and we can fix that coloration because it's meant to be this color, obviously. Clone stamp here should be painless enough. Yeah. This can probably continue on more of the same contour that way. This is going to continue upward like so. Not too much going on there. Here is a little bit trickier, but not unworkable. So actually, we're probably gonna sample this entire section here. Copy, paste, deselect, rotate. That more or less works. Yeah. Go behind, add in the lighter blue. So we actually don't need to clone stamp anything else anymore. Cool. Merge down. Let's go straight across. Oh, too much, but we can work with that. So we'll just do that. Resample. with that. Merge that down. And we'll just brush that in. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. But not unworkable. Actually, it's pretty easy to tell what was meant to go on here. And if we get it a little bit off, I don't care. The characters in the show were so incredibly off-model anyway. For this bit, I think we're going to sample this spike here, just to be safe. Saves us a little bit of work. Actually, let's replace this so we can better compare the angles. That'll work. Okay. Darker brown. Top. We can go ahead and merge these now. So we'll just go ahead and flatten the image. We want to add a layer on top. That's this darker orange. Let's go ahead and shrink this down quite a bit, and we'll close it. Actually, what we're going to want to do is brush in that orange clone stamp. Turn the harness way down. Hey, Cass, how's it going? That's fair. That's fair. Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. problem. This is what I initially came on the project to do. I love doing this. Let's see, here's gonna be a little bit tricky. So we have to be a clone stamp, and we're gonna have to actually like fudge that all the way across. I'm just going to drag that straight over. Actually, I don't think that's how that goes. Besides, it's our project. We can control what we actually see. I'm just going to straight up. When I cut the rest of this out, which is what I'm doing right now. We're just going to cut that out too. Select feather out to like a pixel and a half. Too much feathering. So we'll select, we'll actually grow the selection about a pixel. Then we can afford to feather a pixel. Too much. So let's grow that about half a pixel. Then feather it. 0.3 pixels. There you go. Like that. Okay, cool. Platinum document. We call this we go into our platinum frame. The one, it's going to be 17. We call this, you know, at our official designation. E17. Ryu pose, I guess, E17 pose A, lip flap, lip position 2. Now drag on a different frame. We start with it centered, aligned. We put on a difference mat. And then we freehand adjust until it's aligned. That looks close enough. So now we're going to normal. We're going to unselect this layer. And then we're going to pretty much erase everything except for the mouth. Pretty high hardness. Not that high. We'll matte select that. We'll mark the erase quite a bit of this to start off. That'll do, actually. So, that one, and we'll call this E17 position A, lip flap position 1. We'll do the same thing with the teeth. So we can go ahead and get rid of the last one. Oh, don't leave that one there. Just lock that there. This one we want to start with aligned center, difference mat, adjust Seems good enough. Okay, so now, same thing. We'll marquee out around. That works pretty well. Actually, it's gonna bug me that there's a little bit. Let's drag that down. Let us. Kind of map that around there. Pull back in. Okay, we took a little bit too much out, but that's alright. We can go to our brush tool and just I'm smudging. I didn't need to be smudging. Lol. And we'll just put that in. There we go. Okay, so now we'll since he's completely closed, that is going to be E17, position A, lip position 0. There we go, lip position 0. Okay, that's it for that particular stance. Now we get into the trickier bits. So let's go ahead and flatten this document. So that being said, now that we've gotten that frame completely done, we can delete everything, all of our old frames, all of our straight renders up until the position turns. So that's going to be up to E27, up to 27 inclusive. We can delete those. At number 28, the frame position changes, or the pose changes. But luckily it's just the pose and it's not the rest of the background. So we can still make this work. Again, how off model these characters are, his swoop just like shrunk 3 sizes that day. Let's go ahead and realign, because thankfully the background is the same. It's not like the close-up of Jack in the car. So we can align that, and that's pretty well aligned. So now we just gotta come in and repaint. Sorry, I'm cutting all my cables. I don't even know how many people are watching the stream right now. Just one. Okay, so that being said, the less work we have to do, the better. We can leave most of the background up, so we'll put that on. What we'll do is, for anything that substantially changes, we'll paint it over, or we'll just erase it, depending. So for the pixel, so like here, his arm is different enough to where it's easier if we just reanimate it. So we'll go ahead and erase down to the solid blue. For this section, we might be able to get away with just shifting the thing over. So if we do that, and we just shift it over, that doesn't look quite right, unfortunately. Yeah. But with this, it should be relatively no problem. There we go. Yeah. And then we can just proceed to that. Actually, better yet, we can just get rid of that. And we can stamp that. Oh boy. This is gonna have to be raster signal. Pretty different actually, so I think we'll just go ahead and delete something focused on doing this. Same thing with here, so if we just okay. There, yeah, same thing there. Actually, that's pretty easy. Okay. And then here, we may be able to get away with speeding this up. That lines it perfect. That's fair. That's fair. Have a good one, man. Oh, I see. That's what we want to do. Like that. There we go. Okay. Flatten our image. Put in a layer behind and paint that in. Same here, we can paint up to a point. And we'll then take our slight curve. Oh, I see. And lock that. we go. Here's where it's going to be a little tricky. Let's take that hairline, put it on a new layer, continue it up. See where it leads eventually. We're going to go past the point where it intersects with the other part of the hairline. It seems like this one needs to continue to curve that way. And then here, we can clone stamp this all the way up. But it'd be easier, probably more efficient, more accurate, to just lasso select. So we continue on the curve, kind of like that. Which at this point, we can merge this part down, clone stamp this section across, and luckily, if our clone stamp is correct, looks good enough, let's say. This is a little bit funky here. We don't have a lot of work to do, actually, so that's good. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and flatten the image again. In a layer behind, we will take up the light beige. On the top image, we'll do a very small erase tool with a very, very low hardness. Dark beige. Again, small. Inverse. And a little nook and cranny there. And it'll be shaking. It's one frame of animation. It's fine. Fill this gap in. Here's our little issue. Here's what we gotta figure out. Where is this going? This we can actually probably bring in our image for reference. Actually not helpful. Not very helpful. So we'll just go ahead and lasso select this section. And we'll try. That works well enough. And luckily his little swoop again has been kind of nerfed. Very much so right here. Eyedropper tool. And fill in behind it. There we go. There's that part. This part down here, let's get out of the way. Actually, let's flatten first. Flatten, then lasso. Flatten, then lasso select. Copy, paste, deselect. Flatten. Stamp. Yep. Brush. Probably just want to complete that, so let's take one from here. So. Brush in. I'm going to run an ad because I can. And we'll get back to that. Okay, and we'll continue on with this. Actually, at this point, we do want this back in. Because then we can align this. Render, or rasterize. We can just marquee out to here. And this part, we can marquee this out. So now we take a swig of tea. And we name this E17A Intermediate 1. Find out where, so those 3 frames can now be deleted off our. Okay, then we have one more intermediate frame, which is this one. This is our A intermediate 2. We'll go ahead and align to center first. Pull a. That's funny. Pull a difference mat. Align like so. Normal rasterize. First thing we do, get that out of the way. Second thing we do, that's the right marquee shave. Fix that hairline because I'm not reanimating. I'm not repainting that one. I'll have to do. Looks like I'll have to do a little bit. I'll have to do a little bit of stamping, but not too terribly much. Actually, what I'll do is I'll lasso select that. Okay. And we'll go ahead and select, brush on. Select. Ow, my head. Ow. Ow. Brushing. Something kind of like that. Actually, it makes more sense geometrically if we have a little bit of a blip there. Okay. See what we can pull from the hairline. That'll work. Yes, we can just slide it over. Like so. There we go. Add in a layer behind. Brush on. Select brush on. And there's not too much different actually, so we need to I think we're okay to. No, you know what? Tell you what. That's an easy fix. It's not gonna work though, as intended. So I think we're okay to erase this part. That can just be a solid color, thank goodness. Yeah, that can just work like that. This can get erased. This section can get erased. That section we may be able to move up. Perfect. Let's not feather this actually. Let's turn the feathering. At least just to like 1 pixel. There we go. Saving time. And with that, I think we can go ahead and flatten the image here. We'll flatten that. We'll go ahead and lasso select this. Brush that in. Brush that in. Stamp that in. Brush that in. that. Let's erase up to there. Brush that in. Like so. That's actually a swoop up. Flatten. Layer in behind, like so. Funky thing going on here, but I think the first thing we'll do is we'll grab the border on this side. Turn that into a shoulder, like so. Turn the hardness up quite a bit. We'll clean that up. We'll flatten that image. We'll pull this area, go behind, turn. Brush in below here as well. And then up here we'll brush in this color, like so. We'll flatten that. We'll stamp just this part in over top like that. Then we will select painting. That is our last intermediate frame. We export as A E17A intermediate 2. Remove those from our folder. Now let's drag in. Actually, let's go through and compare. Make sure that our jaw doesn't change. Yeah, our jaw stays the same again. Cool. So we're home free. Okay, we'll drag in frame number 34. Align to center, align to center. Difference matte. Align. Turn. Now this is actually really easy. First off, rasterize. Now we can pull out the window. See if we can't just shift that over. Go. My color. Brush that in. I think what's going to be better here is, let's merge that down. be better is if we just lasso select and graft that onto here. Like so. Okay. Then we can clone stamp here because it'll be a more consistent line, because this one is in frame longer. It's more important for that one to be consistent. This is actually fairly easy. We can just clone stamp that onward. Same thing with here. We can clone stamp that onward. So, same thing for here. You know, that continues to curve, so it's actually better off being a lasso select than a copy and graft. Let's try to match the curve that we got. There we go. That's also, actually both these, this one's obviously going to be a little bit easier as a clone stamp. Excuse me. This one we may be able to graft up and be a small graft. There we go. Perfect. Close enough, actually. No, I don't want to crop. That we can just continue to stamp it down. Help hide the joint a little bit. This is actually okay to just be a clone stamp, even though I'd rather it be a. I'd just rather it be a lasso select. Continue on in that manner, as so. I think. Actually, this we may be able to just fudge down a bit. We actually might be able to do that. Yes, that one actually worked quite well. Oh. Yeah, we can flatten that. We're good. We can paint that in. That little gap, paint that in. Same thing over here. Ooh, we need to get rid of that, but we can also paint that in. And we'll paint that in over here. Awesome. That's... Oh, we have to do reuse head. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. You can... That'll be a graft. Turn that a little bit to compensate. Actually, it's pretty well done already. So we just add in some brown hair, paint in the shadowed flesh tone. Maybe do a bit of a, and we'll do a graft going up here as well. Actually, let's not do that one. Let's get off. Let's not include that bump. Let's just include it here. We will continue on in such a fashion as that. Continue to build up that hairline to about there. Flatten that image. Do the most pointless graft, the most pointless shift ever. Actually, let's not. Let's just snap that in. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen. And all in between and besides. Frame E17. Position B. Flap 2. Center align. Difference matte. Align that to the donor face. Let's actually redo that and we'll pick a obvious point. So this pixel goes here. A little bit off still. There we go. That's what we want. Return to normal. Rasterize. Marquee into the face. Widen the brush. Into the jawline like that. Cross off the jaw a little bit this time, not too far. Actually, yeah, all the way. E17, position B, flap 1. And Toothy Boy. Comes down, pull a difference map again, a difference comparison. That's quite good. Normal. Rasterize. Marking down to the mouth. And we'll tread along the jawline, see how far in we can get away with. There we go, okay. And we'll clean that up. Obviously the nose is going to be the same, so we don't to keep the nose. I think we're good there. All right. E17, position B, flap 0. That's it. That's our flaps. We can now delete the other 65 spare frames, and we're left with just the 9 that we need. Or just the 8 that we need. Position A, flaps 0, 1, 2. Intermediate frame 1, intermediate frame 2. Position B, flap 0, 1, 2. I do need to go through and actually, what I am noticing now though, is the need to kind of clean up that that window though. That's what I'm noticing. But we're going to be in motion with a sky, so it may not even make too much of a difference. So I think we're going to leave it okay for now. So that's that set of frames done. Okay. Move on to. Already done that one. Is there any other big frame that I need to pull from that sequence? We do need to find donor frames for a certain shot. We need to find a donor frame potentially for this shot. We gotta find a mouth movement for this shot. In which case we are most definitely going to need to align these, and that's going to be a little bit of a toughie. Not impossible. If anything, really just for that shot there. Oh no, we do have quite a bit of stuff we need to take care of. Okay, so this shot's going to be a bit of a toughie. Yeah, our issues, we need to find a donor frame for that. We also need to find a donor frame for reuse side profile here. I think we are going to attempt to use flaps from this position. So back that up, and we've exported those properly, right? Yeah, we have, that's E49. Yeah, we've pulled all necessary frames from that. So, our other frame is... Alright, we were also going to use this for the donor frame for this shot, potentially. There was a point where we may have needed to make Ryu squint in pain. We were going to use that as a reference. But that being said, I'm going to take a couple things really quick. Give me a second. Back to Twitch. Let's see what we got. It's getting kind of late. I gotta get up in the morning. I think I might call this a night. Yeah, I think we're gonna call this a night. So, for all of you that decided to stick around for the section of the second part, actually, I think it was just pretty much Ryan who was watching. It was a weird stream tonight. I hope you all have a good rest of your night, and I hope that tomorrow treats you better than today did. I think I'm about ready to head on out. So, thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you back Tuesday with some more Pikmin 251. Take care, everybody.